All right. Hey there, everyone, and welcome to Be a Warrior podcast. I am Angie, and I am so grateful to have you here this week. And if you've been here for the past 4 years, thank you. Thank you for being a listener. Thank you for caring enough to support me. A big, huge shout out to those of you that have been on. And hey, if you're new, welcome, and I hope you'll stay. I hope you'll subscribe, and I hope you are either watching on YouTube or on a podcast platform. I have been trying in the past 4.5 years to shrink this podcast length down and give you guys more bite-sized chunks, but the teacher in me loves to talk. And a lot of times I'm just churning through things that have been going on my past week since the last podcast. And a lot of it is talking myself through a process. And that's what I'm here and I share with you is stuff that's gone on in my weeks and my days. I'm an amputee, and no, that is not my whole life. But quite frankly, at my age, my kids are grown. My husband works. This is what I play with every day. I'm dealing with it. I'm trying to overcome things. I'm trying new things. I'm challenging myself. I'm facing fears. I deal with the ups and downs of the pain of the fit or the temperature and weather and all of the stuff that comes with it, along with phantom pains. And that is what I come to talk to you about and kind of talk myself sometimes off of ledges. And sometimes I feel pretty good and I want to share those moments. Trying to be truly transparent all the time and knowing that sometimes life just sucks. It does. It doesn't matter what you're going through, and whether or not you're an amputee or not, we all have our ups and downs. We all have those moments where we're like, how did I get where I'm at? So this week, I usually take something that has happened, and a lot of times it is right before. I love how God provides, because I just never know what I'm going to talk about as the week progresses, and I toy with some thoughts and ideas. Sometimes I reiterate something that I feel is very valuable. But in this case, yesterday when I was at the gym, this idea came to mind because of someone I was talking to. Now, I have posted and talked about, you never know who's watching you. Work hard to get through it. Mindset is very important to success. I've discussed phantom pains and prosthetic fitting and being an advocate for your own health and insurance, and you name it, I've been through it. But for some reason, climbing your mountain came to mind yesterday. First off, I work out at Desert Foothills YMCA right here in our good old carefree Cave Creek town of Arizona. And I love it there. Depending on when I go, you can have everybody from retired folks to high schoolers, depending on the day, and everything in between. You get the moms, you get the older wives, you get the support system, you get the groups of teenagers. It's all over the place. So you pick your time wisely depending on what your goal is that day. If you really want to work out, there's certain times of the day you just don't go. And I'm a talker, not when I work out, but I will never deny someone a conversation if they approach me. And most of the time you will get older families or older people asking me how I lost my leg, and with total gratitude, they will tell me how I inspire them. And it is likewise, because I'm not at that age that some of them are that have approached me. And I see the face, I see the longing in their eyes to be younger. And even though I feel like I'm in that midlife time, I'm not even in a midlife crisis, I'm okay. But I'm in that midlife time frame. And I lost my leg not just 5 years ago. So I lost it later in life. And after 40 some years of having a leg, 2 legs, it's really a challenge to overcome. And likewise, when I speak to the older crowd, the retired crowd at the YMCA or when I'm out and about in our post office, I can tell that they are dreaming of a time when things felt better and things were good. And that's when I met a man at the gym the other day named Gil. And I'd seen him there before. I don't normally go midday, but because it's been so hot, I go to my horses first and then I hit the gym. But by the time I get home, change, get some food in me, and get to the gym, it's noon or 11:30. And Gil was there. And I was sitting right next to him at the bench press, or the benches in front of the free weights. And I could kind of tell at the corner of my eye that he was watching. And then he kind of waved his hand, and I pulled out my AirPod and I just said hello. And he asked how I lost my leg, and I'm totally open to that conversation. That's not a big deal. The only thing I don't like is if I'm taking over some space at the gym and people are waiting. But it was more empty than not, so I really wasn't worried. You got to remember gym etiquette. It's very important, and it'll make some people very mad if you don't remember gym etiquette. I may be one of those people every once in a while. And Gil had told me that he had had multiple knee surgeries, and he had one of those pushing walkers that you can sit on, but you can push to get through, and that's what he used at the gym. So God bless him for being there and doing that. Then he let me know that he was a bodybuilder in his younger years, and that he was a far cry from where he used to be. And you could just see in his eyes the dreaming that was happening and the reminiscing, and how it touched his heart, and how he so badly wished his body would react the way it used to react. But I try to remember that someday that's where I will be, and it will be really, really hard not having a leg, and having my good leg, my sound leg, start to get old, and my hip starting to go, or my knee or my ankle, and what that might feel like. And that's when I have empathy for those people, because I love my gym routine, and yet some days it's harder. Sometimes my shoulder, just after all the years of softball, my shoulder hurts. And I also fell on this after losing my leg. I tried street paddle boarding and fell. Never was a skateboarder with two legs. I don't know why I thought with one leg it would be easier, but it was not. And so I tore my AC joint up here in my shoulder, and I've had issues since then. So I get it. Getting older sucks. It totally sucks. And I am trying to remember to live in the moment now, while my body is still capable of the things it is doing, and enjoying the things that my body can do and perform. Because I know that someday I will be just like Gil and all those others that I see at the gym. So climbing your mountain. We are never going to be in the same place we are today, tomorrow, or the next day, or the next week, or next year, right? You don't know what life is going to throw at you. You don't know what curveballs are going to happen. You don't know if you're going to have ups or downs, when they're going to come, and how they're going to hit. You don't know how your body will react. You don't know how your mind will react, which is even more important, I believe, because sometimes when our mind wants to self-destruct, it takes our body with us. So when I hurt myself, literally tore my MCL in karate in 2013, if someone had said the next day, do you think you'll lose your leg? I would have scoffed at that idea, because that would be weird and so foreign and so far-fetched from just a popped MCL. And here I am, 5 years after that incident, 10 surgeries, I don't have a leg. By choice, because I had no range of motion and no leg really to use. So that was a good choice, and I have risen to the challenge. Thus, the reason I do a podcast, because I want you to know that despite the odds, and I had a doctor literally tell me I'd never walk again if I amputated, so phooey on him. Because despite the odds, here I am, and I wanted to use the podcast as a platform to talk to you all about how to overcome those things, because I feel like I'm just the average person. So if I could do it, why couldn't anybody else? And I try to dissect what makes me successful, and when I struggle, what is it that makes me struggle, and things like that. So this one with climbing your mountain, Number one, you have to realize your life is your mountain. And the circumstances that happen within your life, the moments that can define your next step, your next moment, your next up, your next down, that is your mountain in that moment. And we have to climb mountains all the time. And sometimes we're at the peak and at the height of that mountain and feeling great and rejoicing and grateful and happy and healthy. And then there are other times where we have literally rolled down that mountain and we are in the valley of it. And sure enough, if you look, there's another mountain to climb. And that hard work gets us to the top again. And it just keeps repeating itself. So when you are trying to find success in your life, first off, give yourself grace. Look at your lifestyle, look at your age, your demographics, things like that, and your medical condition, and give yourself a little grace. This man that I talked to had 2 bad knees and had, I think he said like a few heart attacks. And there he was at the gym, like working out with free weights right next to me. Was he in perfect straight up form and pumping it out hard and quick and big weights? No, but he was there. And I can only hope that when I get to his age, that I'm still fighting for that and wanting to be there and trying to do what I can for my body and for my longevity. So his mountain, and I told him that. He's like, gosh, I'm not where you're at. I can barely breathe. I have to take breaks. And I said, yes, but you're here. That was the point I wanted him to get. He can't compare himself. And I think it might be hard too when a guy sees a girl at the gym, even though girls are really taking it up a notch in the gym. I'm so excited to see so many women knocking out weights and doing what's good for their body that's not just cardio. They're really knocking out weights. And I bet for certain generations that might be really weird to see or hard to see. And I know that I'm really bad at comparing myself to others, and I'm working on that. That is a lifelong work in progress. Like, why can't I be more like? Why am I not like? Why can't I do this? I have to remember the joy in the journey when I don't like something I'm doing or how I'm eating or the way I feel or look in my clothes. Then I can do something about it. And I have started to find a little bit of happiness in knowing I am at the steering wheel of that, and I can choose how I see my next day of eating or my next week of eating or working out or choosing one thing or another. And I can literally see what my choices are doing to my mental and physical state. So I tried to express to him that he's there and he's doing what he can, and that is better than about 95% of the population that either A, doesn't have time to get to the gym because they're working and they have families. And I get it. I was at that phase of life, and it is a phase. You just can't linger there, right? If you're raising a family, I know as a mom, it's exhausting. When your kids aren't sleeping, you're up all night, then they're running around rambunctious, and there's no napping with my boys when they were growing up. It was exhausting. That was my gym workout. And so that was something that I wanted him to understand, was where he's at right now. He's doing more than most people that have gone through, especially what he's gone through. And he's there fighting for his health, fighting for himself, fighting for his future and what that looks like. So kudos to Gil. It was really exciting for me to meet him. It made me really think, appreciating where I'm at right now in my life and how really strong and healthy I am at my age, and what that might look like in 10, 20, or 30 years from now. And if I'm doing it right now and I'm taking care of my body now, then maybe I will be Gil and I will be in the gym fighting for every little ounce of my drive to be better, to rise up from that challenge of getting older. So when we climb our own mountain, we need to remember that what is working for me won't work for you. And what's doing someone else is doing at their age or this age may not be where you're at, and that is okay. Compete with yourself. Challenge yourself and let all the other garbage and people around you go. Let them do them and you do you. And when you climb that mountain, whatever it might be that you are trying to get through and you're struggling with, whether it's your age or your health or drama in your life, when you can focus on what you need to do to be better, feel better, and look better, and mentally be better, you're going to find that you'll be on the top looking back and going, I did great. And I'm happy where I'm at. You need to be pleased with what you are doing for where you're at. And every one of us is going through something totally different. You know, what people don't see when I'm at the gym, and right now, we are cranked in heat, and it's monsoon season here in Arizona, which like today, we had a storm come in late last night, and woke up this morning and it's like 40% humidity and 100 degrees. That is awful, like God awful. You don't have to do anything but stand outside and you're just dripping wet. And it's exhausting, right? Well, guess what? When you're a skin fit socket and my skin is sweating against a hard, like a soft, pliable plastic, I can go to the gym and then I struggle to walk out because I'm sweating so much in there that my leg is turning on me while I'm working out. So that challenge does happen. And guess what? When it does turn like that, sometimes it hits a different nerve in a different way. And then I've pissed off a nerve, and that usually equates to phantom pains or phantom sensations that are exacerbated in the evening when I take my leg off. And for the joy of it, last night when I took my leg off after sweating at the horses, sweating at the gym, I had blisters on my leg, which I never have. I mean, I'll get that every once in a while, but I was shocked that I went the whole day and I had blisters all along the top of my residual limb. So that was fun. Put my leg back on this morning with some blisters and seems to be good. I would not recommend that for everybody, but I have low rate of infection, like never, knock on wood. So I push through. And that's just how I need to work my life, because if I gave in, every time something like that happened, I'd probably never be in my socket. Again, that is my journey. That is not your journey. Your journey is different. If you are wheelchair bound right now because your socket doesn't fit, or you are having a surgery or recovering from a surgery, you know what? What can you do where you're at right now? What is your mountain that you need to climb? And sometimes it's not a physical one. Sometimes it's a mental or an emotional one. And we have to take care of all of that. That's the Be a Warrior 360. The 360 is taking a look at you as a full person. You might be happy physically, and you might feel good about yourself the way you look, but you might be hurting inside, or you might not feel like you are good enough in your head, and you're struggling with that, even though you look fantastic. And I'm going to tell you right now, you look fantastic. You're amazing and you're wonderful in all sorts of ways because you are you. So when it comes to overcoming the obstacles that come into your face, into your life, trying to squash you down, trying to win that battle, you need to fight back, and you need to know what works for you. There is no one size fits all with what works when you're battling. And you need to know what you need to make yourself happy, complete, content with the life you are living and where you're at right now. Whether your financial stability is for crap, or your physical well-being is for crap right now, that's just where you're at. You embrace that and go, what can I do to feel better? And what can I do to look better? Because I know when I look good, and in my mind, I feel like my clothes fit right. That's what makes me feel good. When my leg fits right, I tell people it's like having a solid corset. You know, the things that women used to wear in the old days, and they'd tie them really tight to bring in their waist. That is this leg, except it doesn't have any way of adjusting the volume of my leg to it. So if I try to put my leg on one morning and it is tight and I'm struggling to get it down in there, I know I need to balance out what I'm eating and how much I'm working out, because this isn't moving, but my leg is fluctuating in volume. Now with all the sweating and all the working out I'm doing and being at the horses and walking around in heavy boots and jeans, I'm probably sweating off pounds. And so now I'm getting movement with sweat, which then creates the blisters and the rashes. So I know what it's like to have the moments that are hard to deal with, the moments where I just don't want to get up and do this, and this like I normally do, because today is just not that kind of day. And you know what? I have also learned that tomorrow is another day. And like today, I didn't get to the gym. I was sweating so bad at the horses this morning with that 40% humidity that by the time I got done there, I drank like a gallon of water, no joke. And I came home, changed my clothes, and I was like, yeah, I don't think I got the energy to go to the gym. I don't want to hurt myself. So if I'm feeling weak, even if I put food in my body and I feel weak, I don't want to go to the gym because I'm not going to. And maybe tonight I will, or maybe I'll just wait and do it tomorrow morning. And that is okay too. We have to give ourselves that grace to make adjustments that work in that moment for you. And the only guilt that I know I ever feel about not going is guilt I put on myself. There's no one here telling me, why aren't you working out? Are you getting lazy? Or that's all self-talk, things that I tell myself that have really been a hard thing for me to grasp as I've gotten older, and I'm learning. The older I get, the more I'm giving myself that pass to, today's the day I'm going to spend at home, and I'm going to clean up the house, and I'm going to enjoy being home and present here for my dogs and for my boys. And when my husband comes home from work, having dinner, nice dinner ready. And then there's days where I'm out and I'm doing, and it's okay. So what is your mountain? What is it that you're trying to get on top of and wrestle down and conquer? Maybe that's the best way to say it. What are you trying to conquer right now? And what is trying to conquer you? So call to action. You really need to know what you're facing. And I want you to see what it is that you're struggling with. And I want you to say, but look what I have accomplished. Like Gil at the YMCA, he was there. He was going to the gym. He made it to the gym, which parking lot and the walker, that's all stuff that some of us just aren't dealing with. And that's a big deal. I know when my prosthetic is not fitting right, just getting from parking lot into a store or parking lot into the gym is a battle. And then you're like, and then I'm going to work out? Oh my God. Or I'm going to walk up and down every aisle to get groceries? Oy. So give yourself a pat on the back. Look at what you are doing right now. Don't look at what you're not doing, or if you've set a bar up here and you're here, enjoy where you've gotten to. One, because there are people that wished they could be there. And two, know that you can get to where you want to be, whether it takes baby steps or it takes a week, a month, a year to get there. It's okay to set a goal that you want to accomplish and reach for, but don't get caught up on, I'm not there. I didn't make it. I can't make it. No, you can't make it yet, or you can't do it yet. That's okay. But the whole can't word and being angry at yourself for not being like A, B, or C at the gym, or A, B, or C in your neighborhood or your group of friends, stop comparing, right? It's the thief of joy. And start living the life that you have right now, because you know what? Every day we get a little older, and every day something else could go wrong. Live in this moment right now. Revel in this moment. Appreciate this moment. Be grateful for this moment. And pat yourself on the back for what you are doing right now, despite any circumstances going on, despite any injury, despite any medical condition, despite any financial problems, despite job problems or relationship issues, despite the mental anguish or war that's going on inside of you. What have you overcome? And it might be a little tiny thing, But you know what? Sometimes we need to appreciate those little tiny moments and give ourselves some credit and a pat on the back for what we did do, not because of anything else, but that was a step in the right direction for you. And you are that much better because you made it that much further. So keep setting goals. Give yourself a little grace. Don't be so hard on yourself, especially in seasons that feel like you're in a downward slope. You will come out of it. We all go through it. And sometimes we forget that the downward roller coaster does go back up eventually. And then it goes back down again. So ride that roller coaster, crazy roller coaster of life. Embrace it. Appreciate the moment. Appreciate what you've done. And know you are climbing your own mountain and you will get there. Each time you will get there. Until the next time, and you will get there. Everything is cyclical. It'll just keep changing up. And once you get through one thing, you enjoy the highs of it and excitement of it and all the accolades of your accomplishments, whether it's from you or the outward source of maybe a spouse or a family member, a good friend that's been there for you, rah, 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 cheering you on. And you will then cycle back and you will have something else go on in your life that you will have to overcome, and you'll have to do the whole thing all over again. But right now, climb your mountain. Don't make excuses. Don't say you can't. Just say you can't yet. And you're trying. All you have to do is try. All you have to do is get out there and do. And sometimes getting out there means just getting out of bed for some of you. And that's okay. If that is a step in a better direction than you've been going, great job. I'm proud of you. So, hey, this is your time. This is your life. How do you want to live it? How do you want to see things play out? Do you want to be the victim or you don't want to be the warrior? This is the time to be a warrior, and you all have it in you. We all do. We're born with that. We're born as fighters. Some of us are just quieter about it. But man, when you're up against the ropes, you will fight for yourself. And you have to fight for yourself because no one else will. Truly, you have to fight for what you want. So climb your mountain. Get up every day, ready to take on the world. Find your purpose. Find that whatever it is that gets you motivated and stirred up to go do something, whether it's a baby step or something magnificently great and huge in the world. It doesn't matter. See what you are worth in your own eyes, because you are priceless. So until next time, and as always, have a blessed week. Be healthy, be happy, be you.